What's good, guys? I'm John the Chief, and today I'm going to be giving you guys the best loadouts and strategies for hardcore point of contact on co-op. I know this is probably one of the big issues for people right now is beating hardcore point of contact and hardcore nightfall. A lot of people are struggling with it because it's actually relatively challenging. But if you follow these loadouts and these strategies, it should be cakewalk. So, first things first is the loads. You want to mirror these loadouts. And then the speccing is the most important thing. You want to ignore strike packages unless you're the weapon specialist. And the first thing that you guys need to spec into is your part for the team. So the weapon specialist will max out his team boosters. The medics will max out armor and feral instincts. I will put 2 points into ammo since I was the engineer. The reason why I put only 2 points into it is that way you can max out engineer if you get all the challenges by the time you finish the second barrier hive. Because having maxed out engineer allows you to be so useful for the team from just trap spamming everything. Not a single trap should be off when you're in the cabin. Like, you want to keep those going as long as possible, and it just gets devastating on what you could do. The weapon specialist does not spec into a weapon specialist at all. After he finishes team boosters, he maxes out sentry guns. Now, for the medics, you max out armor, and then you max out medic. But for the feral instincts guy, you put 2 points in the medic, then you max out feral instincts, then you go back to medic. The reason for this is because feral instincts is not as important as the other three, and it's more important to get that immediate healing bonuses from the medic. But that is how you should be speccing into. The weapon specialist and the engineer should be getting most of the kills, while the two medics should be more careful about surviving. That should be their main goal. And now, the second most important thing for hardcore is hive order. You want to make sure you're doing the right order for all the hives, especially in the second area is very important. By this, what I mean is that you can't be doing the hive that we just did last. If you do this hive last, you'll get swarmed by too many scorpions and you're literally a sitting duck and you have nowhere to go. It gets bad real fast, you have terrible drill protection, and it just gets ugly. So you always want to do that hive second or first. The hive in the center, if you have that in the area where I am right now, you want to do that hive first, always. And in the back corner, the opposite of where I'm looking at right now, where I'm looking at, is the hive. That hive, you always have to do last. If you have that hive, that's the easiest hive, you do that last. And then this one on the side that you first see when you finish the first berry hive, that hive is going to be a filler. It fills in for whatever's missing. Alright. Center one, though, if that one's missing, you got to do the back one, which we're doing right now first. Because if you don't get those the center hive and the back hive out right away, it just gets too ugly, it just gets too hard, and it's just going to be impossible for you to beat it. It makes all the challenges real struggling to go with. And yeah, a big thing though about this is challenges. A couple of bad challenges could easily screw your game over just because of how hard it is to actually survive if you fail a couple of challenges. Because those are your only ways for getting skill points. But in this area, you should have a relatively easy time if you're doing the right hive order. You have an engineer that's spamming the traps like I am right now, because those traps will save everybody. The traps will do half the kills for you, and it'll get rid of all the pesky aliens easily. Now for the next important thing is the barrier hives. Now, these barrier hives, you gotta speed hive it. You gotta go through them as fast as you fucking can, and that will be the only way to get past it. If you do not destroy the second barrier hive fast enough, a bunch of rhinos will spawn in. So for this, you want the engineer to set off all the traps, because those traps should last long enough with the amount of skill points that you have into it, in order to last the whole hive. Now, you want a guy on this minigun turret to my right, and he'll be shooting at the hive the whole entire time. Typically, it'll be a guy who's a medic. That way, he could have some immunity to the scorpion acid, so he can stay there longer. The rest of the people need to just take out their automatic guns and just spray as many bullets as they can at the barrier hive. You could also have a guy doing what I'm doing right now, which is basically just guarding the guy on the turret, so he has an easier time. Because a lot of aliens will go for the second to the minigun guy. And we're almost done here, but we do not do this fast enough. And it's only been like a minute. And we still don't do it fast enough to avoid rhinos from spawning. Like, that is how fast you have to destroy the second barrier hive. Once you get a bunch of rhinos in here, it's game over. It's going to be too hard for you to handle it. You don't have enough skill points to handle everything. You don't have enough money usually because you're too busy buying everything that you have to. It just becomes a giant train wreck. And honestly, it's game over. That's a game changer right there. This is probably one of the most intense parts of the game besides the last hive. And it is very important that you have to get through this. If a rhino does spawn, you should have a guy that just shoots at the second barrier hive while other people are dealing with the rhino and stuff. Otherwise, more rhinos will spawn. That's why I realized during the middle of this game that I needed to start shooting because nobody else was. So me and Nick finished it off, and there, the rhino spawns will stop. That's the last rhino, and we can actually get through this. It gets really intense, really fast, and you gotta watch out for that. And now for the final part is gonna be the last hive. This is where it gets most intense. Now, for advice I have to give you is avoid certain challenges. If you get either the don't use abilities for 90 seconds or don't spend money for 2 minutes, just fail that challenge. There's no need to even do it. Honestly, if you're this far already, just don't risk the loss. Just get out of there. Failing those challenges is not the end of the world, but sometimes doing them is. My first time doing this on solo, I got half my downs just due to trying to do the 2-minute challenge. We have lost several times by just going for the don't spend money challenge. It honestly gets a trainer. If the guy who's in charge of armor gets even close to going down, he has to buy armor. There's no reason not to. And if you go for those challenges, like, it's just a total train wreck. Don't do it. I advise not to. So those are some warnings you gotta be wary of. And if you just follow all these steps, you spec in the way I told you to, you do correct hive orders, you know what challenges to go for, it will be a very easy game. You'll have an easy time doing this map. It won't go bad at all usually. Now, me and my crew can average like 0 to 1 downs per game. We always get through it. We're very consistent. And we only fail 1 to 3 challenges. It depends on what you get. Certain challenges are impossible, but you want to go for every single challenge possible in the second and first area. Very good. If you fail 2 challenges also in the first area, you want to end the game and restart. And tell me if these loadouts worked for you. Leave in the comments below. Please tell me how you did. Leave a like on the video if you learned something new. And see all of you guys later.